we're just saying goodbye to San Cristobal. We're on our way to Comitan. Today we need to make our antigen tests for our border crossing tomorrow, and hopefully, all being well, we'll be able to step into Guatemala. Woohoo!
Hello! Welcome to the Meet Around the World show! Today from Comitan, Chiapas, on the Guatemalan border, almost. We're gonna cross tomorrow with our dear friends
Perry,
Phoebe,
Chris,
and Oliver.
and Oliver, yeah. And we are going over the border with them and spend Christmas at Lake Atitlan in Guatemala.
They have invited us to spend time with them in their Airbnb. So
Very
we are
cool.
very grateful and very excited.
hopefully we won't get locked up.
Yeah.
We don't have much luck with border crossings, so I hope that they
Already nervous. Thank you, Chris. Okay, well, it's been a heck of a ride. The last 10 months here in Mexico, and yeah, we love Mexico.
We do. And,
Yeah,
It's a sad day to leave Mexico.
sad day,
It's very
and
sad,
yeah, and it'll be a great day tomorrow to enter Guatemala and check out the new country.
While we're preparing our arrachera tacos, yes, it had to be tacos on our last day, we will take you to Chiapas. This is our last episode from our Mexican series. We're ending with Chiapas, where we exit the country. We were here during the rainy season in August and again on our way out in December. Chiapas is the southernmost state in Mexico. Its climate is mainly tropical, and it is home to 6 Mayan ruins. In fact, due to the area's relative isolation, the indigenous population, which is still very high, has been left to carry on with their lives and traditions. Chiapas is also well known for its Zapatistas rebellion movement, which today causes trouble every now and then, and with some travellers too. We, on the other hand, have only good things to report. We have met wonderful, happy people and have seen a lot of Chiapas's natural beauty. Check this out. Canon del Sumidero, with walls which can reach 1,000 meters high in some places, this canyon is at times deeper than the Grand Canyon in the USA. Totally worth the boat ride here in Tuxtla. This popular tour took us upstream along the Rio Cristobal, past its ore-dropping walls, beautiful waterfalls, crocodiles and bird species, and through magical hidden caves. It is no wonder the state of Chiapas chose this gorge for the symbol of its flag. As with many hotspots in Mexico, we were able to camp in the parking lot right by the ticket entrance of the boat terminal. First ride out before the sun got too intense.
This road is so beautiful. Keep stopping, taking pictures. Check this out. Woo!
talking about canyons, here's another one for you. As you can see, the canyon here was breathtaking. So the Aguacero waterfalls would be too, right? It sure was a great camp spot anyway. So I am up early, Richie and Zoe are asleep, and we are at the Cascades de Aguacero, I think it's called, in Chiapas, near Tuxtla on the outskirts of Tuxtla, and apparently there are some amazing waterfalls with 700 steps, so I'm going to have a little walk down. So I got to the bottom of the stairway, seemed pretty easy, but then I only got a little glimpse of the waterfall, and now there are yellow arrows telling me to go walk through boulders and things. I always feel a bit vulnerable on my own. I'll just check it out and see whether it's worthwhile. Otherwise, I think Richie's flying the drone. Yeah, so maybe I should have studied the map. Well, I got a glimpse of some waterfalls. I think I was expecting something more like the Casas del Tamul in San Luis Potosi, but it is beautiful nevertheless. The water is a little bit murky, a bit brown, but just the jungle-like, just see vultures just chilling out on the tree. It's lovely. A bit of a Tarzan and Jane adventure if I carry on bouldering and scrambling down, and I have a daughter and a husband to go back to, so I am going to turn around. I only have a banana in my hand and a bottle of water. So yeah, I guess I wasn't too prepared for adventures this morning. I'm sweating. The showers. That is where I'm going in a minute. Sitting at an elevation of 2,100 meters, San Cristobal gets very chilly at night. a nice escape from the rest of hot and humid Chiapas. The welcoming climate isn't the only draw to the town. Its alternative, anything-goes vibe also attracts tourists from near and far, and we liked it so much we visited on 2 different occasions. First time round, we were accompanied by our Swiss-French friends Olivier, Sarah, Naomi and Eloa, who we'd met previously in Teotihuacan, and then upon our return with the Simons from North Carolina. Both visits were spent at Rancho San Nicolas campsite, a great spot with just walking distance from town. This place is another one of Mexico's travel hubs, and it is not uncommon to meet other travellers stopping by, like for example Los Mundo from Spain, Venezuelan Spanish couple campervan travellers, and many more. Lagos de Colon is situated on the Guatemalan border and was a handy spot to stay at when extending our Mexican FMM tourist cards. Silver Skin got to practice some river crossings, and we spent 2 lovely quiet nights there, all alone. El Chiflon, one of those hotspots that all tourists visit at some point, but at the same time is not overly crowded. These waterfalls were very beautiful, and the park itself was extremely well organised, with perfectly paved footpaths for our 1-hour ascent to the falls, a play park, and even an accessible river to jump into and cool off. We spent 2 nights camped out in their car park, making use of all these amenities. Stop was the beautiful area of Lagos de Montebello. These lakes, which are set amongst the pine forests, certainly are pretty, and as with most attractions in Mexico, there is always a kayak to rent or a raft to float on. We enjoyed our first day grilling outside, taking in the sights, and watching a Guatemalan evangelical procession.
A través
But just when our friends from France, the expedition's All Bambinos, had arrived, the rain did too, and our grassy camping area soon turned into a swamp. But we did not despair, because we bumped into 2 more French travelling families and enjoyed many beers together and some tacos. Driving along the Guatemalan border, we made a stop at Mirador of the Cascada del Paraíso Escondido. Our morning hike soon turned into a bit of an adventure, especially when we missed our first Mirador sign. Our footpath had disappeared and we found ourselves scrambling through trees, sliding down mudslides and balancing over natural river stepping stones. But doesn't the view at the top always make it worthwhile? Another one of Chiapas's highlights is Roberto Barrios. In our opinion, one of the best spots to go swimming. One can climb all over these waterfalls and the natural pools are very welcoming in the heat. We reunited with Expedition All Bambinos for the 5th and sadly final time. They are now currently travelling through Greece, Turkey and Albania and spent some wonderful days together, including a movie night with homemade popcorn in front of the huge screen. Yaxchilan, an unforgettable visit of a Mayan ruin. The whole package was exciting, including the location where we camped on the night before our boat excursion. As soon as we pulled into the car park, we were greeted by a host of howler monkeys.
Ready.
The next morning, we booked the first boat ride out. The 40-minute shuttle to this remote, ancient Mayan site was just beautiful, with Mexico on our left and Guatemala on our right. The unrestored buildings and mounds that were once home to the city's most famous kings, Escudo Gagawa and his son Pájaro Gagawa IV, can only be reached by lancha. We were all alone this morning, and the very fact we were all by ourselves, the whole 2 hours that we were there, made it even more exciting. We made the most of being able to climb all over the moss-covered rubble and explore the royal rooms of long ago. On our visit to Palenque, we chose the Maya Bell Hotel as our base for camp. We soaked up the luxury and plunged into the cool pool that was on offer. It was August and very hot and sticky. Howler monkeys had also graced us with their presence, and we were ready to take on the ancient Maya ruins of Palenque. A relatively small settlement, we were able to walk around the towering palace and pyramid tomb and view the abundance of reliefs and inscriptions that were on offer in just over an hour. Puerto Aristo Turtle Sanctuary. By night, Richie was helping patrol 30 kilometers of beach to try and find fresh eggs that had been laid by the mummy turtles. The night shift crew couldn't find any, and the weather got increasingly worse, so they had to drive back with zero visibility and through the biggest downpour ever. The next day, however, was brighter. We were fortunate to get the long and short of everything turtle, and an added bonus, we're able to release about 100 baby turtles into the ocean. A few facts. Did you know that the females from this group of babies will return to this exact same spot in about 30 to 50 years to lay their eggs? And that the males will never touch land again during their 100-year lifespan. Sadly, only one of these 100 babies will make it. That's why this work is so important. For us, it's also time to leave. We are off to Guatemala. We have had 10 wonderful months here in Mexico, and just like these turtles, we will be back.